Podcast YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, say hello, Amber. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that bell, subscribe, let everybody know that you love our podcast. Let us know that you love our podcast. And then also go over to the Instagram, link in the description box, to go ahead and subscribe to our Instagram so you can see all the fun clips and all the fun things that we do during the week. And yeah, anything else, Twin? Pretty short intro there? Okay.
Nope.
Perfect. All right. Well, then that said, we will go ahead and get into the recording of this week's podcast. All right. Hey, Twin.
Hey, Twin. What's up?
Yeah, well, just hanging out. It's been really hot in San Diego lately. Hot for San Diego, like in the 80, 85 area. So we're just like sweating like crazy over here. How's it been over there in good old Atlanta?
It's been good. This week has been very, slightly uneventful as far as like activities and doing things. Just with like a lot of stuff that's going on, it's just like the city has really slowed down, and so like we've kind of like absorbed that energy of like slowing things down. So we really had to like make like an active choice to like get out of the house and like go do stuff, and like Blake's been doing work and meetings and stuff, but like I have just been kind of like I am not trying to do anything, like go anywhere, do anything. So yesterday we did venture out and go to this really super fun park in Johns Creek out here, and it's got this really dope. I think I put the video of the park, the dog park, on the Instagram. Yeah, I did. It's a park that's sponsored by it's sponsored by Beneful, and it's this like awesome park. It's got like a water fountain for the dogs at the dog park, and the park has a lacrosse field, a soccer field, 2 baseball fields. It has a tennis courts, basketball courts. It has 2 kids playgrounds. It has a bunch of different like trails and walks. And this sounds really nerdy, but like it's like prime spot for like Pokemoning. So we've been having a lot of fun. It was Go Fest this week. So if any of our listeners watch, I guess that was this week. I totally forgot that Go Fest was this last weekend. So we enjoyed a lot of Go Fest activities at this park. So that was super fun. And can you hear my dog?
Yeah.
So Go Fest was super fun. We had a blast doing like Go Fest activities, and so they made a bunch of changes with it. So we were actually able to enjoy it. Both families, like we were able to enjoy it with Ashley in San Diego and here in Atlanta. So that was really fun. So it was really awesome that we discovered this really cool park out here. And I think it's officially like our spot. Like we've gone to probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 parks in the last month. And we just really, 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 really like this one. So I think we're going to stick with this one. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So that's Go Fest was really fun. We did like a lot of really cool Pokemon. Other than that, this week, I think Phoenix, like, for me is in school or preschool for 4 days a week. And which I'm hearing actually from other moms around here, that's pretty common. If you have a kid that's in TK or preschool, since that's technically considered like childcare or like daycare, like they can have that open right now. So there's a lot of people whose kids are in preschool too. So, but yeah, Phoenix in preschool 4 days a week. So that's nice. And I've just been focusing a lot on the F45, going into 2 or just finished week 2 of that. So that's been really fun. And I actually went there this morning before we started recording. So that's been pretty cool. And yeah, besides that, Phoenix, I've just been doing regular, like we went to the pool. Like I said, it's been really hot here. So I've just been kind of unmotivated to go outside. Like it's just like 85 degrees here is just like so hot. Like, so we went to the pool. Oh, I had my friend date.
Oh, your mom date.
Yes. So Wednesday this week, I went to lunch with my friend Katie, who is like a newer friend. She has a daughter who's 7. They live in our same apartment complex. And since our apartment complex is so small, we all kind of like run into each other, especially at the pool. So I've kind of like made some friends of moms who have like kids kind of in the same age range or are just, the same age as me. And so Katie and I kind of like asked her if she wanted to go like grab a coffee or grab a lunch or something. So we decided to do that on Wednesday, and then we were doing it again this Wednesday. So it's kind of become like our thing. So I have a friend.
Yay! Derek got asked out on a dad date, right?
Huh? Oh yeah.
Derek got asked on a dad date.
Yeah, he there was a dad at school, and I guess Phoenix and this little boy are like really good friends, and this dad saw Derek dropping him off and was like, "Oh my gosh, you're Phoenix's dad. Like my son talks about your son all the time. We should get them together." And Derek was kind of like taken aback, like, "Dude, why are you talking to me? Like, I have no idea who you are." And I was like, "Dude, be nice. He's like trying to get our kids together." Because normally, like, moms normally do this kind of stuff. So I just thought it was super sweet. He called me just like, "You'll never guess what just happened to me." And I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet. Like, we need to like get them together." And he was like, "I got his number and stuff." So like, I mean, obviously I'll be the one probably taking him to this activity. But still, it's still pretty cute. So,
It's cute.
but yeah. So, okay. So let's get into the Did You Sees. I think we're going to stick to one this week. One each this week to kind of like not get crazy. If my light just changed, I'm sorry. I'm looking at a window and it's overcast, and now it's bright again. So there we go. So yeah, okay. So what is your Did You Hear this week?
Okay, so this week was just like, I've read this article today that was in the Atlanta Black Star, and it was about this lady from Florida. She was in 2015, she got fired from her job, and it sucks that it took 3 years for her to get this settlement. Like, I don't know what she was doing for that. Like, hopefully she was able to just get another job, and like she just kind of waited for the lawyers to do the thing. And also, a lot of times the city likes to stretch out these cases so that they don't have to end up paying you. So props to her for hanging in there and like really fighting for this. But she's this really pretty like chocolate skin girl with like in this photo of her, she has like braids, cornrows, like really long cornrows. And she apparently worked for the tourist office in some county in Florida. And she got fired from her job because her boss said she didn't fit the vision of what he wanted the tourism office in Florida to be. And I was just like, I'm like trying to think like what was your vision? What was your vision for the tourist office of Florida? Because it just to me didn't make any sense. First of all, I don't feel like the tourism office of Florida, I guess they're supposed to represent the state, but like it's like saying that because San Diego has a large Hispanic population, everybody in the tourism office in San Diego needs to be Hispanic. Like, no, like we want to see that like whoever gets the job gets the job. If you're more qualified, you have the right skills, like the fact that you live there, you represent your city. No, like,
yeah, I think it probably. I don't know if that's the hairstyle she had when she was working there, but I do feel like there's a little bit of a stigma for like the long French braids. Like people are trying to. I think there's been a lot of this reach towards like elevating those two hairstyles. So like long cornrows, and then particularly like those long French braids that are long, because like typically like probably 10-15 years ago, like those styles like were considered not so like, I don't know, probably just like not so classy, without a better way of saying it. It's like a very like simple way of doing your hair, and also some people might consider it a little bit like hood-ish, just like people think box braids are, and just like people think that dreadlocks are, and just like and all this. In reality, it's like I feel like if you're a black girl and you do that, suddenly like you're a hood rat. But white girls been doing French braids, long French braids, French braids forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I just don't understand why it is like this girl over here who is white and fair skinned, she's fine where she could do that hairstyle, but this black girl has cornrows, like long extensions, cornrows, and like suddenly like that's not okay. Like there's definitely, and I don't know if like that's for the particular reason in this case, but I know that's definitely been a thing where it's like there's this perception that certain hairstyles are dirty, unkept, blah 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 blah. And
yeah, like
not
how people
representing
about
the
pros, or you can't like you throwing out your hair to work. Like, well, I'm sure a lot of people would be like, why didn't you do your hair today? You know?
Right.
In reality, it's actually it takes like a lot of effort to get your fro to look nice and like to look like to shape it well and make sure it looks great. And people just don't. If you don't educate yourself and you don't make yourself aware, please check out our podcast about hair.
Yes.
And we share all the things and give you a little bit of insight on how much work it takes to do your hair. Like just this, like that I did to my hair, like once I did the twist out, it kind of made it simple, but it's taken a lot of time for like, me to really understand how to make my hair look nice.
You've done so good, twin. because
Yeah,
I
I'm trying.
remember when you were first trying to do it.
Oh my God,
and you
I
were
literally
like-
just wanted to shave my head.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I have
You were
no
like-
more hair. It's gone. It's out of here.
So Christian kind of inspired me, and honestly, money inspired me because it was just like I can't be out here spending $90 every 2 weeks or $400 every whatever. Like I wanted to be able to save money, and I also just wanted to be like, why am I 30 years old and I don't know how to do my own hair? Like this is like a situation. So
Facts.
so I just like really took it upon myself to do it. I talked about this in another podcast. My nails, my hair, like I really wanted to be like literally like taking down my braids. I would let them go so far. Like we're at the point right now where like either I need to get them done and I'm going to try to make them last another couple weeks because hopefully by then I'll be able to get my braids done inside because right now they're literally doing people's braids like in their patio. And also just like it's not cheap to do. And I've been trying to decide if I want to redo my whole head or if I just want to get the front touched up. Anyways, that's a whole separate situation. That said, if I had to take my braids out and I had to go 2 weeks or a month just to protect my hair, I could totally take my braids out and be totally fine. Like before it was like, oh my God, I take my braids down. What do I do? Like, what was the style? How am I going to like, I have all the products. I have everything I need. So anyways, totally sidetracked there. That girl, I'm glad she got the money that she deserved from that situation because obviously there was some prejudice there. There's no way they could argue that. There's obviously some, if nothing else, simply wrongful termination. You can't just fire somebody because they don't represent your brand well. Like,
Yeah,
really.
like, and the thing is too, it's like, it's not your freaking company. It's not it's the city, state program. Like the tourism office is not like your personal freaking company that you can just like, and even that is wrong. If that was like, if it was like, well, this is my brand and I don't like braids. Okay, well, that's your brand and you don't like braids. Cool. Don't hire women that wear braids. You can still hire women that have natural hair, but you may not like braids. So don't hire, like, you know, tell the girl like, hey, like, could you just wear like your hair in a fro or do a twist out or something that's not braids. Okay, but this guy's probably not that educated in like all the styles of the Black women and how they change. Like he just looked at them and was like, I don't like those. They don't look attractive to me. You don't need to be in my office. And that's not okay. So she got $150,000 for it. So go her.
Good for her.
Okay. What's yours?
So mine is a pretty short one. Basically, it is the fact that The Bachelorette has been replaced. They replaced Claire because, and the thing that's funny about this is like, I feel like low key, like we should be like, yay, good job, Claire. I'm so glad you found somebody. She decided that she was going to leave because of the long extended process of The Bachelor. Okay. Which we've talked about this a little bit before. Because of the long extended process of The Bachelor during COVID, and they announced all the potential guys, they all found her on social media and talked to her.
Right.
So this one particular guy named Dale, who apparently, I haven't seen a picture of him yet, which I probably should go look, but apparently he's really attractive. He's probably attractive. He's one of her bachelors. I mean, geez, he probably doesn't look like a frog. Like I'm sure he's handsome. So she decided that they talked before and then they went 16 days into shooting and she said, I'm done. I want him. I'm not going to do any other dates. Now, contractually, she's supposed to continue on the show. She can't leave, but she can make it very hard. So what she did was she refused to come out of her hotel room. She refused to go on dates with guys. She refused to go on group dates. And like my issue with that is like on the one hand, it's like, man, couldn't you just give them a chance? Like these poor guys stopped their whole lives to go, even COVID aside, these guys gave up their whole like lives basically to go on this show and to meet her. And she basically is just gonna like be like, sorry about your life, go back to whatever. And also ABC's upset because they have two options. They either recast, which is going to take forever because they have to do all of the normal tests that they do, all the STD tests, all of that stuff, go into their background, recast, re-audition, all these dudes, and they have to all get a COVID test and then quarantine themselves
for 14 days before they even shoot.
For 2 weeks before they could even go shoot, and then they probably have to pass two tests. So that's like a whole nother process. And I think that to me, and the other thing too, ABC has said nothing. ABC and Bachelor Nation, Chris Harrison, nobody has said anything. We just know this because, you know, one of those like Bachelor, you know,
spoiler people
like told everybody like, hey, she quit. So on that note, Claire is done, officially announced, not officially announced by Bachelor Nation yet, but people are prepared. I think it was Sienna actually announced on her Instagram story that it's official. My girl Tayshia is going to be the Bachelorette. So we will have two I don't even know what Tayshia is. I'm pretty sure she
Indian and something. She's mixed with stuff.
And then homeboy, I forget his name. What's his name again? Chris
Drake.
Drake. Twin. His name is now Drake.
I don't know what his name is.
Okay, I can't remember his name, but Mike. No.
It's definitely not Mike.
Why did I think his name was Mike too? Okay, it's not Mike. It's not Mike. It is whatever this other. It's homeboy's friend, Luke's friend.
Tyler's friend.
Tyler and Hannah's friend.
I don't remember his name.
I can't remember his name. Anyways, we've talked about it before. We all know what he is, or who he is. I just can't think of his name right now. So we're just gonna go with that. But either way, we're gonna have two people of color representing Bachelor Nation. I think it's great because Rachel Lindsay has been all types of up in arms about the fact that she wants there to be more representation. So good job, ABC. You guys are finally doing what I feel like you're supposed to be doing. Are you finding?
I'm looking him up. Matt.
See, I was close. That was M.
You're close. You said Mike.
All right. Okay. So I think we should go ahead and get into our topic. Yeah. I want to say one more thing. I'm actually excited now to watch the Bachelor and Bachelorette seasons, to be honest, because I was not really
finally we were done skis with that. Yeah, I was like, I mean, I was happy for Claire because everybody's making a big deal because she's older and like, you know, people were excited that we had an older Bachelorette. Tayshia is almost close to 30, right? She's in that age range. She's not as young as Hannah Brown. She's a little older than Hannah Brown. She was older than Colton, if I remember correctly. She was older than Colton. So she's still like, you know, like not a child. And she was also on The Bachelor before, and we kind of know her story. So I'm super stoked about that. So yay, a redemption for The Bachelor. It's going to be a weird season, but yeah. Okay. So we're going to get into our topic. Our topic this week is about it's a combination of between social media and internet and how it's changed our lives from when we were kids to now, how much different it is with our families and our dating relationships and our fiance marriage relation. We've been together. We've been for men so long that basically marriage. Yeah. Engagements with our kids. It's so much infiltrated our lives that it seems like it's just inevitable that you're going to be a part of social media, the part of the social media world. Still people avoid it. So we just want to talk about that a little bit and, you know, what our thoughts are on that and how it affects everything in daily life. So
yeah, so I think like the topic is about like what the world was like before social media, or is it like a combination of both? She picked this topic, so I just want clarification on what like that's
it's a little bit it's a little bit about both, like how social media, like how it was before social media, because we remember shortly before it really got big. Like obviously social media has been around since the 90s, like it's just slowly kind of, but it got really, really popular in the 2000s. And that was like a pivotal like point in our life. Like we graduated from high school in 2007, 2008. So like most of our growing up years, like our years where we formed into humans, we were with social media. But we do remember, you know, times before social media. So I just want to kind of do a compare and contrast of what life was like before social media and how much different and what differences have we seen. So I've got questions to guide us along this trail.
Okay. I've got answers.
Okay. So what is your first memory of using the internet?
Of using the internet in general?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have like I guess AOL Instant Messenger. Like, yeah. I feel like using dial up and like having to wait for it to dial up and then nobody could use the phone while you were on it.
Yep.
And you only being able to use it for like 20 minutes and then like you had to put like on a away message like on your AOL Instant Messenger and just like being up like just chat, but not on a laptop. Like you had to be on like a PC. Like it was on a PC.
Yeah.
Um,
They actually use those, like, if you've ever been into recently, not recently, but if you ever rent an apartment, they have those like nooks where you like put the, like, nobody uses those nooks anymore because pretty much everybody uses laptops. But they
Yeah.
still have those like office nooks, which is where like you would have your computer. So we always had our computer for the whole house had one computer. We all
Yep.
used the one computer for homework, and I just remember, of course, I remember the sound of dial-up, or I remember watching the AOL like thing go by and waiting to connect, or like
Yeah.
being
And
so
sometimes
annoyed
it
when
wouldn't
it just,
connect.
yeah,
You had to start over.
yeah, you start trying to dial it
It was
up again.
so loud. So you couldn't like
So loud. Secretly
you
get on
couldn't
the
get
computer.
on it. Yeah, you couldn't get on the AOL Instant Message like in the middle of the night because it was so loud that like that noise like you couldn't just like sneak down and like connect, like it was just super loud. So yeah, I think that was like, I mean, just like emails, like we had to send emails in school, like, and how like scary email was, how scary AOL Instant Messenger was, like instead of having like those cigarette commercials where people are like scaring you, it was like internet predators.
Yeah,
like,
stay away
not
from like
no-
chat rooms and stuff. And now it's
Yeah.
like, get on, whatever dating website and like just click this person, then to go meet them. You're like, what? Like when we were kids, it was like, no, like you only
No.
talk to people like make sure you know who they are. Like, you had like a certain amount of time you're allowed on the internet. On the computer, like we had to share, there was 4 of us, so we all had to like share freaking time on the computer. If I wanted to be on the phone for the entire day, like, I mean, nobody could use the computer, or you'd have like multiple lines in the house where one line would be dedicated to the internet, and then you'd have another line, or each bedroom would have a house phone like line, or that, like, remember kids used to get super excited, like, I have my own line in my bedroom, like,
exactly.
so they'd have to call your parents and ask your parents to like, hey, this is blah blah blah, is blah blah there? And you're like, oh yeah, I'll get them. All in your business. So yeah, I definitely remember that. I remember a little bit in like elementary school, we had to like, there was like games that we had to play, but I can't remember if those games were on the computer, if they were connected to the internet or not. I guess I doubt they were in elementary school. I just remember we had so many like those games and stuff we played on the computer.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I for some reason loved Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail was kind of fun.
I wonder if they still have it. Like, we should look it up for the boys and see if they want to do Oregon Trail.
Yeah, if they have like an updated version of Oregon Trail, because that would be super cool, actually.
Landon's really started to get into those games on his tablet, like on free time. Okay, so how has internet changed the way you've communicated over the years? So like now that there's internet, like what is so different about how you communicated before we really like social media really like got moving?
I think when we were talking a second ago, one of the things that popped in my head was like, you used to just like go down the street to your neighbor's house and just like knock on the door. And that was totally fine. Like nobody would think you were a serial killer if you like went and knocked on the door. And I think like that's more of just like the development of like cell phones and stuff like that. But I think like it was this idea of like you being able to be connected to people all the time and wanting to feel connected all the time, I think just started. Like having an away message on, like you wouldn't just sign off. Like you want to have an away message on so people knew that like you were available, kind of.
And you liked, though, it was always cool to like have somebody, if they messaged you while you had your away message on, you got back and you had messages, then you were like, oh my God, so cool. Sada messaged me while I was away. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or people would put their away message on and then like be sitting there, but just like not respond. Yeah. I think it's made it so opposite of where when we remember like AOL and like instant messaging and group and what are they called?
Chat rooms
started getting really big. It was like the sphere of like the internet, what's out there, and now it's more like, it's weird because it's reversed. Like it's like you're warning your kids, like you warn your kids about internet predators and stuff, but now people are like more like, okay, well,
scared
no,
you're not gonna,
scared of the real world. Like you're not gonna go knock on our next door neighbor's door. You're not just gonna go roaming around the neighborhood. You're not gonna go. And I still see like sometimes I'm driving like nicer neighborhoods. You still see kids riding their bikes through the neighborhood. You still see them doing that, but it's just not like, it's not as normal as it was. Like it wasn't like you left. I literally would get out of the house. Ashley and I would get out of the house like 10 in the morning. We wouldn't come back like till like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. Like we would just be outside, like riding our bikes or like, you know, roller skating or like going and getting our
Yeah.
friends like, hey, are you up? Are you ready? You want to go hang out? Like, like you just go knock on your friend's door and be like, hey, like, let's go, let's get out. And it's just so different now. Now it's like you call them and you just FaceTime them to like connect with them. And you, like, you know, you don't really have to like go face to face and door to door with people. And COVID has made it so much more like it's a blessing that we have those things. But like now it's just made it so much more like it's made connecting with people, physically connecting with people, feeling like a little bit obsolete, even though we know that human beings need that physical connection. Internet has definitely made it, I guess, kind of eased it, but kind of made it obsolete also.
Yeah. I think like the hardest thing was about the internet though, which is still kind of a thing, but like now with social media, like you could still keep track of people, but this idea of like you making a friend on the internet and then them just like vanishing.
Yeah.
And the only thing you know about them is that their screen name is like Susie 12578 or whatever, and that's only who they are. And like then suddenly like you're messaging, you go to they're never online again, or you try to message them or email them or whatever, and the email doesn't go through or whatever, and now this person just disappeared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's not.
It's like
There's
it's
a lot
ghosting
more.
because you can like connect to so many more people further away from you. Like before, the way you made friends was in school or work. There wasn't really an ability to ghost someone. You're going to see them. They work with you. They go to your school. They work in the same, like they live in the same neighborhood as you. Like you made friends more in your immediate circle. So it was really hard for people to avoid you. Now it's like you connect with somebody on the social media and then they can just boop.
Yeah, but what I was saying more so is that people back then it was more of like if somebody ghosted you, like they for real ghosted you. Like if you make a friend on the internet, you probably by a week one, you know what their Instagram. You probably have them on some other form of social media like Snapchat, and you've probably FaceTime them. Most people have done those three things within a week or two.
And if you haven't,
Facebook,
you're getting
Instagram, whatever.
catfished.
And if you haven't, then yeah, the person's not real. We have this information now. Whereas before, the only way you had to contact them was on this one platform or one form of contact. And if they just stopped contacting you, that was it. That was a wrap. So now, like, I think honestly, to ghost somebody is hard. Like, you would have to delete your whole entire social media, or specifically block this person on multiple platforms. Like, it's a lot more intense to like ghost somebody, you know. And if you're getting ghosted, it's more so because you don't know how to contact them or they're just ignoring you. But like reality is like if somebody ghosted you, like you could still see them on social media. It's not like they've died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, whereas before, like if someone ghosted you, like it's not like you could go, you know, look at their Instagram stories and see like they're okay. They don't want to talk to me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you could think like, oh my gosh, what happened? They got sick, they this and whatever.
Right.
Which is how the show Catfish started. So yeah, it's definitely different. Like, yes, you can ghost people, but I think it's a lot harder than it was like way back when.
Yeah, and before, you know, obviously there was AOL, but the social media world, like, yes, MySpace had been around for probably 10 years before we even knew about it, but it got popular, really popular in the 2000s. And then Facebook came right behind it. And then Instagram hasn't even been around that long. Like I think maybe 10, 15 years, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. We didn't have Instagram in high school. Did we have Instagram in high school?
No.
So
it's been less than 10 years.
It's been So we didn't have Instagram in high school. So it hasn't been around very long. And TikTok obviously is a very new platform that just took over the world. And I feel like there's some things about social media that I miss and some things that I like. Some things about pre-social media world that I miss and some things about social media that I really, really like and appreciate. So what's something that you really miss about a world that wasn't dominated by social media?
I guess we have very few memories, or at least for me, very few memories of a world where there wasn't social media. Like, I think we went through high school without social media. So I guess like one of the things I don't think there's really anything I miss about there not being social media, except for like thinking about how other people are dealing with it. So like high schoolers now have to deal with cyberbullying. They have to deal with harassment through social media, waking up to 45 DMs saying, kill yourself, whatever. We didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to harass somebody now because you can just find them on everything, and then just kind of bully
Invade
them,
their whole world. Yeah.
invade their whole space. Well, it seemingly feels like their whole space, right? Reality, it's just the internet.
Turn
But it
off your
can
computer.
feel like, especially when it's something like, you go to a party and somebody videotapes you doing something, and then you come to school and everybody's seen it. Your teachers, your principals, like kids you didn't even know have seen it, and now they're saying stuff to you or whatever. Or like literally watching the video and laughing while you're walking by, type of thing. So we didn't really have that. So I think that that's one of the things I'm grateful for that we didn't have to experience, was that there was enough bullying in general, but bullying was like people had to actually say shit to your face. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was like, or they would ignore you, but beat you up, follow you, ignore you. Like that was kind of stuff that was there. But for a lot of that,
but that's not worldwide. Like the thing that I felt like is such a key thing that they always teach high schoolers and try to emphasize is high school is not your real life. It's not like, it's just high school. It's just your high school. Nobody else knows who you are. That's not true anymore. That's not true.
No.
If half your school follows you on social media, all the other schools probably in your district, in your city, in your area probably also know who you are, just because you have that many followers just from your high school or just from your college or whatever. And so by giving yourself this internet presence, you allow for people to have an easy access way to like humiliate you or get in your business or whatever, bully you. And so that's one of the things about it that I guess I miss the feeling of like being able to just like make private mistakes, or like being able to end a relationship, or be able to like move a city, or be able to like do anything without having it feeling like everybody else has to like see or know or have a thought or an opinion, like not feeling the obligation to share your hard time with somebody. You just want to deal with it and sometimes not have anybody know that you're dealing with a hard time, which you still could do, like just don't post all of your stuff, but like,
but then there's that, then everybody's like, you're not being authentic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you only post happy stuff, you're not being authentic. If you only post sad stuff, you're being depressing.
You're trying to get attention.
Kind of like, you're trying to get attention. So it's like, there's not really like
it's
any
like a
middle ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the main thing I do like about social media is, one, it's very entertaining, but two, because of Ash and I's life of moving so much over the years, it's allowed us to like stay connected with people as we've moved throughout our life. It also has made it like we did a Zoom call. I thought we talked about a Zoom call that we did with our cousins, like that we haven't seen them in like years. It allows us to stay in contact and stay up to date on what's going on in our families' lives, our friends' lives. And it's almost kind of like you stay in contact, you feel like you're staying in contact with them without actually calling them or talking to them or like really communicating with them. Like you like their post or comment on their page and say happy birthday or whatever, and you feel like you've connected with them, which is really not true. Like you really should pick up the phone and call your family members, like call them on the phone. Don't just post on their social media or whatever. And but it does allow for you to stay up to date. Like I don't want to get a call every time one of my cousins does something. Like I would just rather see, oh, awesome, congratulations, you accomplished something. I don't have time for all of my cousins to be calling me every time something great happens or their kid does something funny or whatever. Like, no, it's nice to be able to just like scroll through and see that our cousin's kid did this hilarious thing and not have to like stop my life to have a whole hour conversation with you about it,
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that is really good, is that social media allows you to stay connected because you can stay connected in bites. Like you're not connected. You don't have to like you said, call every single one of your family members and be like, and get an update on what's going on with their life. And reality is you're not going to stay that, unless you live right by them, you're not going to stay that connected to them if there wasn't social media, because the reality is you would just not see them until the next,
family reunion
or get a holiday card or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So I think that like, that's definitely a plus. And that's something that I enjoy about social media for sure, because it has really been, made it so that we can stay connected, because we don't live, literally Derek and I have zero family here now, because you used to live here and that's it. We have zero family. His family's in New York. our family is everywhere. So if we didn't have, and a lot of my friends are all over the country. So like, if we didn't have social media, I mean, yeah, we still have the phone and stuff, but people don't have time to be talking to everybody for an hour.
Everybody they know on the phone. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And even texting, like people like texting is faster, but like if you're having a real conversation over texting, like you low key have to like stop for a good like 3-4 minutes and like type out a well thought out message. It's not like you can just like,
honestly, sometimes like if I'm busy, like cleaning or something, I would much rather talk to you on the phone because I can just continue, especially since we have AirPods now, I can just continue hands free, walk around the house and talk to you. If I'm texting, then I literally have to stop what I'm doing to text you. And then some people are like, well, if I text you, then, it allows for you to respond when you want. And people don't think of it that way. They're like, why have you not responded to my text in 30 seconds? Like, like I text you so that I wouldn't have to stop you doing what you're doing.
Yeah. You know what I do miss? I do miss people judging you or not judging you. And even for me, because I do this too. People judging you by like how many followers you have, or like, oh, my post only got, or even judging yourself like, oh, my post only got 10 likes. Like it must not be a good post.
Right.
Or, oh, my post only got, or nobody liked it, or even the podcast, like nobody listened, or, oh, we only got this many listens, or even comparison, like, oh, this podcast is getting this many listens and ours isn't, like, we must be doing something wrong, or we must not be doing enough, or whatever. And I think that like,
I've been doing a lot of that lately.
Yeah. I think sometimes it just needs to be like, just being happy with what it is. Like the fact that some people have no listens on their podcast. No one gives a crap. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. And also with us, like for me, it's more of like me setting, especially for the podcast, it's me setting standards for what I want. And I think, and realistic standards that match us. And then we just raise that bar a little bit every time. And so for the podcast, like we get a good amount of listens just thinking like, okay, like this is the max amount of listens we've had on a podcast. So that's the number we should shoot for, but not like beating myself up if we don't get there. And then also,
I mean, we've never had a podcast that had 0 listens.
We have no podcast that have 0 listens. So that is something in itself. So I feel like we should be happy. We just hit 1,000 listens on the podcast. So we're actually over 1,000 now because we had 2 episodes last week. But yeah, so we're actually getting towards the end of the podcast, but really quick, I wanted to say, if you guys want to listen to hear a podcast episode, well, do you have any closing thoughts before I move on? Like closing?
Yeah, I was just going to say, that like, social media has been like a blessing. And there's also some things that just really didn't even like exist. You even think that was an issue. Like, people making their relationship official on Facebook and like feeling like if you're not making my relationship with you official on Facebook, then you clearly don't want people to know that we're in a relationship. Like things like that.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? Like why? Like honest, and I'm that person, but I know how ridiculous that is. Like as somebody who is 31 years old, I am going, that would have never occurred to me to be a thing until the last like 15 years. Like why is it that that's such a thing? 10 years, not even 15 years, 10 years. Why is it such a thing that I need that like, confirmation or affirmation? Or I look at people's profiles and I'm like, I know you're in a relationship or you're married. Like, why do you not have any photos? Why haven't I seen a photo or anything of your kid or your spouse in like, I don't even know how long. Like, why haven't I seen anything? I go through your photos and I don't even know that you're in like, so it's just things like that just make you more judgmental, make you think that you think about someone's life. In reality, you don't know. You only know what they're presenting to you and showing to you. And but it does allow, a good thing that that is new is that it does allow for us to really like, I guess, put our best foot forward and show our best and like share our lives in whatever way we want to. It's made a whole new career. Social media is an entirely new career. Being an influencer, podcasting, all that stuff has made an entirely new career. So, more jobs and more ways for people to like work from home and enjoy their lives and not have to go to the office and 9 to 5 every day. So yeah.
Anyways. And we didn't even really touch on YouTube, but YouTube, I mean, as a social media platform, and I think that's obviously opened up a lot of doors for people with vlogging and with kids getting, there's that kid Ryan that Phoenix watches. His family made like some ridiculous $1 billion last year, just by simply posting videos of him opening toys. Like just ridiculous stuff that like years ago be like, why would anybody want to watch that?
But we do, because like as a parent, well, okay, Landon likes watching videos like that too, but as a parent, that's kind of cool because I'm like, okay, that's how that toy works before I go spend $40 on it. My kid actually will like
Yeah.
it, or actually that needs batteries, or that's too old for him, or whatever. Like, it's the simplicity of it that I think people connect to. So just even the simplest things, people just spend hours watching, and it's fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that was good. That was a good summation about the internet and how it used, or not, yeah, the internet and how it used to be, and just how it's changed us, and how it was different when we were in high school and it didn't even exist in elementary school. So yeah, I honestly feel like I don't even remember a world before social media, really. It's been our whole adulthood. So it'll be interesting to see how our kids grow up, and if social media continues to be this crazy thing, or if it changes and it becomes not so
I think
big.
because we were along
So
for the ride of the development, and like going from the very beginning of social media to going to where it's like our entire, like everyone's pretty much life. If you're a business person and you are not on social media, people are like, what are you doing? You're not marketing your product correctly. Like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But it also gives, obviously, there's just new concerns that I think when I thought as a kid about having my own kid, I wasn't thinking about. I didn't think about all these new things that you're gonna have to look out for, things that we didn't have to deal with or think about. So I guess every parent probably feels that way. Like, we had totally different issues we had to deal with when we were kids, and now we got all these new issues we have to stay up to date and abreast to. So
yeah.
but if you guys, have any thoughts about what your experience has been with social media, what things you don't like about social media, what you really enjoy about it, what's super cool about it. Maybe you're that person that finds it so annoying and you don't know why people are so, obsessed with it or
Into
whatever.
it.
Just please let us know. Email us at twinlifepodcast at gmail.com. Hit us up on our Instagram or our YouTube channel at Twin Life Podcast. And also look out for, I guess, our TikTok. I guess we're going to join the TikToking crew. Maybe we'll talk about it more, but we're considering
Yeah.
putting some fun things on TikTok for you guys to see, for you guys to get a little bit closer into knowing us and who we are. So please make sure you follow, share, let everybody know about us. If you like what you see, hit that bell, subscribe so you know when every new episode comes out on every single Wednesday. And we will see you guys soon.
Yeah. Oh, also, we might be popping in every once in a while with a special episode. If you haven't listened yet, last week we did do a special episode for Taylor Swift's new album release. So you can scroll down in your feed. Down? Yes, down, because that will show you the previous.
Swipe up, because it would.
Yeah, scroll. Yeah, well, if you scroll it down, then it will show the previous episode. So anyway, scroll down and you can see the previous episode, which is the Twin Life, or the Taylor Swift bonus episode. And we might pop in with bonus episodes. Bachelor season's coming up, like we talked about. So be on the lookout for bonus content. But that said, I guess we'll catch you guys later.
We'll see you guys later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.